Good morning, welcome back to my crafty hen house. My name is Elaine. Thank you for joining me. And today is August 20th. Beautiful, beautiful morning. And we're gonna go ahead and get in the bees this morning. I have a couple more trays that I left in there, and I'd like to get that honey processed and then leave them alone for the rest of the season. We've gotten beautiful honey so far to date. So we're gonna go in, we're gonna do a little bit of trimming and lay down our diatomaceous earth, a little bit of the ant defender, and then we're gonna get inside and process some honey. So we're all trimmed up. It didn't take too much because I've been staying on top of it. But as you can see, since I've finished trimming, they've calmed down a considerable amount. They're just coming in from the evening and getting settled and making their plan for today. So we're gonna go ahead now and go in and take a look at a few of the frames and see what's going on. I did leave three pretty good frames. They weren't completely capped, and I wasn't comfortable taking them until they're fully capped and processed. You don't want to take honey before it's time. It will ferment in your containers because the water to honey ratio is too high. So you want to make sure that you let the bees do what they're meant to do and cap your honey before you take it off the frames. So I'll set you back up and we'll get in there and see what we can get. This is a real good sign. This is the most outside frame to the west, and they're all working really well on this, building up some really, really nice comb. This is frame number 2. Again, filling this up nicely, working really good. This is frame number 3. Very, very nice. And the back side. Oops, I can flip it this way. Give them a little bit more smoke. This is frame number 4. And this is a frame I'll take today. So let's check out. This is frame 5. I'll also take this today. Let me go ahead and get this brushed off, and we'll put this right in. Go ahead and get frame 4. Now let's take a look at frame 6. Frame 6 is beautiful as well. Frame 7. They're working on this one. And this is frame 8. So let's get this put back in, and we'll get our frames and we'll smoke them a little bit more. Frame 4. And we're going to get frame 5. And we're going to get it closed up now. all done out at the Hive today. We were able to get 3 frames of honey. Very happy with that. I brought them in and they're pretty nicely filled, so I'm really happy with how much we were able to pull out of there. Almost 1 month to the day of getting our last 2 frames, and I knew that I had at least 2 more in there that were pretty nicely filled and capped, but I kept measurement on my bucket. If you can see that, I was able to get 2 frames, and you see the line that it went up to, and that was July 18th, 2022, and I was able to get 8 8-ounce jars. Back in May of 2021, I was able to pull 5 frames. That's when my hive was newly established. So I'm really happy that I actually got 3 frames, almost 1 month to the day of pulling the last 2. So I'm gonna set you down. We're gonna get these frames out. I'll show you how I put them through the screening process, and then I put them in my honey extractor, which is right here on the floor, and I'll get started and see how many little jars of honey we get today. And I have my little bucket with a spigot that I attached onto the side, and we're gonna close that down. Then I have a 2-part frame that has screening in it. This is a smaller screening than the top. This is what we will put our frames up against and let the honey go down into the screen, and that way we can capture most of the wax as it goes into this little container. So I'll rest the edge right here on the side, and I'll go ahead and I'm going to take off the top. So I will begin to take off the comb, the capping from the frame, and I'll break away this capping so that I can put each frame into our honey extractor. You can do it 2 ways. You can pull from underneath and pull the cap off, or what I like to do sometimes is I just like to lightly rake across the top. That's going to open up all of the capping. And once you're pretty comfortable with how much you have opened up, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn it around, and we'll have to do the other side in the same process. And like I said, this nice screening helps to keep all of the wax capping out of a majority of the honey as you're straining it. And we'll leave the straining right on the top of the bucket as we transfer this over. Now you may have to take this out of your extractor a couple of times and do this again to open up some more caps. But that's about good for right now. Now we'll go ahead and I will transfer it into the extractor. I'll take my bucket and set it down here on my little bench and go ahead, and there's 2 compartments inside the extractor, and we're going to put this frame in one of them, and you just set this down inside. And we're just going to put it inside here, and you want to make sure that your little opening is closed down here. Make sure your latch is tightened up. Now I will go ahead and I will do the same process to both these other frames. only one right now. I don't want to open up the capping and leave a frame inside this nuke box. Sorry about my puppy. But we'll go ahead and we'll get one of these frames put inside, and then we'll spin our honey and we'll see how much we get. After you've let that spin for about 5-10 minutes, you're going to take your frame and you're going to flip it and turn it. I've already done this side, so we'll take this one and we're going to flip it and turn it, and then put it back in and spin it again. That will throw any honey that's on the inside of the frame to the walls, and then once it's on the walls, it melts down into or drips down into the bottom where the spigot is. So then you're going to want to spin for another 5 to 10 minutes. I give it a few good twists and then I let it go. A lot of people have electric honey extractors. They're really, really nice. I don't mind doing this. I only have one hive, so I don't have to use it that often, and it was just more cost effective for me at the time. But they do have some really nice electric extractors that you can look into. Well, we had a successful day in the hive again. We got 9 jars of honey here. We were able to get another half jar that's in the fridge that I added to one that was open already. So we did really good. I'm glad I went in and I got those 3 frames. Now I want to tell you really quickly before I let you go about some of the lids. Now you know how difficult it is to get your canning lids. So what I do is I save my lids every time I have jam or jelly or even honey. I tend to buy little jars that have a full built-in lid so that I can reuse them each time that I fill up these jars. And then I also found these really cute decorative jars. They're really, really adorable, but they also have a full built-in lid so that you can use them over and over again for anything like herbs or honey or nuts, anything that you decide you want to put into storage. Another lid that I found is really good for honey is these plastic ball lids. They're one solid piece. You can wash them, put them in the dishwasher, use them time and time again so that you can save your lids for your canning, because you don't want to reuse your regular canning lids. This is a 2-part, but I have used this lid in the past, so I save them in a little container. Therefore, I can use them when I do projects like this that do not need to be boil bathed or pressure canned. So that's just a little tidbit. We have a montage of different lids, but you really want to reserve your canning lids for canning and use the old lids for projects like this. So I hope you enjoyed going out into the hive today and getting some more honey. It's always such a pleasure when I go out there and I can find that I can get a couple of my frames and process some honey with you. So until next time, thank you for joining me. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when I have my next video coming up, and have a blessed, blessed day.